Hi, Pisces. Another month, another onesie. Why another onesie? Because you're still nesting. You have more nesting coming up, actually. You're going to be reassessing things that have to do with your quality of life. What's going on every day? What's in your fridge? What's in your air? What's in the paint on your walls? It's all becoming way more important than it's ever been. Almost like you're prepping for something. Some of you are actually getting married, having a baby, and some of you are prepping for some other sort of birth. A new business venture, perhaps. 5 of Wands. There's conflict, and I think it has to do just with people around you that maybe you didn't get rid of like you should have. But don't worry, because we go straight from the 5 to the 6. See, the haters just can't keep you down. It's just not possible. Are they going to try? Well, they have been trying. Keep letting them try. It's really no skin off your back. Don't worry about it at all. It doesn't change anything. If anything, 6 of Wands is like even more satisfying. So those same people who in the 5 of Wands card are fighting you or trying to engage you, that's also what it means. Be careful not to be engaged by them, because everything that they're talking about is the exact opposite of what they mean. It's one thing to deal with people who are dishonest. It's a very Taoist way to look at things, to know that even a bad person is just a good person's job. So for someone to be good or bad, okay, but there is something that is, there's a third person, and that person is a hypocrite, someone who knows the difference between right and wrong, perpetuates the right side of things, but actually does the wrong. Claims to be for the right and the good, makes a big noise about it, but is actually deceptive and hurting people and trying to sabotage people and gossiping about people and all this sort of stuff. When you know that you're going to be okay and that your energy is so strong in terms of success and moving forward in career. But yeah, sure, it can affect you that people are not necessarily telling the whole truth about stuff. That's, yeah, it's difficult to deal with. The Tower moment, however, is always something that can be avoided. So in this case, Mercury, the Magician. So messages that can bring you undue stress. Well, first of all, you don't have to be that plugged in this month. You should take a minute to rest. Your season is coming, and your season and your nature is one of giving. So when your season comes around, like Virgo, it's not a time to party. It's a time to give. It's a time to work. So resting is important, but also because your season is coming up, your energy ramps up even more. And you've been doing so well. We knew the jealousy and the haters and all that was going to at some point hit. But ultimately, all they do is strengthen your rise. So it's not really anything too much to worry about, especially if you know that whatever they're trying to feed you is just not accurate. It's just not true. It's trying to fan the flames of a Tower moment that they're trying to make happen. That's what the Magician looks like. It's like someone who's trying to lie their way into your Tower moment. If they can just shift your perception enough, they can get you to experience this. But really, it's a choice. It's only if you buy into what the Magician is telling you. And who's the Magician? It's anyone in your life who seems to be doing one thing but saying another. I know you guys don't like that. All right, so the Devil, the Knight of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords. there is that earth sign again. If you were dealing with a Capricorn, you might be feeling a bit hurt. Capricorns are going through it. They are restructuring their home life. They're sacrificing a lot of things. It is their season. In their season, they can be even more inaccessible. You may feel very alone if you are with a Capricorn because they seem to have pulled back a lot. The thing you have to remember here, Pisces, with anyone, but especially with the earth signs, is that if you don't have enough of your own life and you can be tossed, like a ship at sea, depending on how much attention you get, the earth signs can be very difficult because they love to provide and be responsible, but neediness really scares them. So you can have needs and still not be needy. So if you're with a Capricorn who you feel is pulling back more and more and more, don't let that start a destructive cycle for you where you then feel more needy, and then that pushes the person away even more, and then you feel even more alone. The Eight of Swords often represents that sort of mental looping, or where you work yourself into a hole because sometimes Pisces thinking can be a bit circular. Now you can always argue that it's not a circle, it's an infinity loop, and I agree with you, but at times, is it possible for you to get stuck in a tiny bit of water that's like just pulled somewhere? Yes, and the point is then to get back to the ocean somehow. This would be, as ironically there are there at the bottom tiny pools of water, this would be that for you. In regards to specifically a Capricorn, but more generally the earth signs. Now, if you are a Pisces rising, and this is something I'm going to start doing in all the videos from now on, it would behoove you to take a very good look at what you are telling people, because they are going out there and they're repeating it. You're not the best gauge of what should be said. You're saying too much. It's getting you in trouble in ways that you may not even ever find out, but it's reverberating out there, and it's attracting if you complain, the universe sees that as a call to give you more things to complain about. That's what it thinks you want. So that's what it'll throw back at you. So don't. No matter how irritating the Five of Wands, Magician, Tower, it's all surrounding the Six of Wands card. It's all surrounding you. No matter how suffocated and irritated you feel by really small, petty things that start to build up over the month. Now, look at it this way. Someone you know and love very deeply in about a month is going to need a lot of love, a lot of help, a lot of attention, and all your time. And you're going to love doing it because you love this person. But what would you do the month prior then? Because those people, that person that you're going to take care of in a month and love and do everything for, that's us. That's all of us who aren't Pisces. So it just stands to reason that however you get there, that you find a way to be alone and recharging and just rethinking pretty basic fundamental things in your life. That's also what the Tower moment is about. It doesn't always have to be some scary thing. It's just as easily a foundational change that you need to make. It could be that you want to be vegan now, like I said, or you don't want to drink fluoridated water, whatever it is. That's a pretty fundamental change, changing the water you drink, right? So that could be your Tower moment. It doesn't have to be some, earth-shattering thing that has to do with a relationship or has to do with, it's not like that. Can it be like that? Sure. But there's no point in focusing there, because even if it is some cataclysmic event, it's only being given to you right now to teach you that it's really not that deep, no matter how important you think it is. What's much more important is you, and for you to come up as the Six of Wands, and then in some way this Eight of Swords, because it's either you or the earth sign. Now, if it's a Capricorn and you feel like they're being really slow and pulling away and you just don't understand why they're playing this game with you and you're feeling more and more alone and isolated, you need to pull yourself out of this into this High Priestess sort of energy, which we know you know how to do. Just take someone to pull you back and say, hey, Pisces perspective, remember, you're really cool. You don't need this person. If you have an earth sign in your life and they are feeling bad, okay, they may be going through something. We talked about this a couple of months ago. They may be feeling unconsciously a bit envious of your success, unable to compete, unable to keep up. They may be feeling like their career is going so much slower. You may feel like they're moving too slow within the relationship, and the speed of the relationship is just, they're just dragging too much. Or they would like to move faster in the relationship, but they don't feel equal to you right now. It could be many, many things. However, the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Ace of Wands. Ooh, and then the Wheel of Fortune. So by the lunar eclipse, which is pretty close to the beginning of January, this situation, at least with the earth sign, has a lot more light shed on it. And what you see when the light is shed here is that things are actually better than they seem. And the love there is real. And the commitment is serious. And it's also right around that lunar eclipse, you have money, financial opportunity, career, related opportunities coming in full force. So really the only thing you have to worry about, again, bottom of the deck now, Two of Swords, is this overthinking and putting yourself perhaps into that infinity loop on purpose. Now I'm just doing your extended. And then underneath that is the Two of Cups. So for those of you who are in a couple, the relationship deepens in a way that you didn't think was possible. That can be facilitated by many things, but it just, your heart grows another few dimensions, and you're like, whoa, okay, wow, okay, I didn't know I could love this much. For those of you who are single and are looking, I would take the career opportunities and see what the lunar eclipse brings. I would spend more time outside if you can, even though in certain parts of the world the weather is not, the nicest right now. But also I would take my focus completely off trying to find someone right now. I think if you're a Pisces who's single and you are actively on the market, you have such a magnetic appeal right now, I don't think you have to do much. You may want to be cognizant of the fact that you have this appeal and you have this magnetism. That will help. But any sort of energy you put out there of chasing, which is really not you guys at all. But if you are, feeling a little bit anxious, impatient, hello, what's going on? When is it going to happen? This is a good month to test out the whole receptivity thing. And I know we've talked about this before, but you guys are the best at it. Make a little room between you and what you want. As counterintuitive as that sounds, make a little room and create a vacuum for that thing, that opportunity, that person, that situation, that dynamic, that emotion that you are craving to come to you. When you create that vacuum with intention, you allow for space where impatience and focusing on a thing does not allow for it. That's kind of what the earth sign is doing. It's too focused on certain things. But when you create space, instead of focusing, which fills up the space, when you create space with intention, that empty space, the universe comes in loving to fill an empty space, and loving to fill an empty space that has some sort of a flavor or directive to it. So you're able to imbue that empty space with whatever it is that you would like to acquire, and then instead of using all this energy that you have right now to perhaps force something that's not quite ready, you're instead able to use that energy to produce a really powerful magnet. Now, in terms of the people who would cause the Tower moment, this is for Pisces and Pisces rising, right? You really need to just be honest. You can be nice and still not really want to talk to certain people anymore. You don't have to make a big thing out of it. You just need to swim away. It's not that big a deal. Let's look at these cards. Happy New Year. We're so close to your season and it's so exciting. I love you. I'll see you in a minute. Hi, Pisces. I'm glad I waited a little bit because this reading is so much about January. I'm glad that you didn't get it the first few days of Capricorn season, just because we need to focus on this eclipse that's coming up. And of course, there is the emotional Cancer full moon. We're dealing with it right now. It's a lot. Could be Five of Wands is happening just in the little petty everyday. Also, it's very likely here that the Tower has to do with some push of ambition, that Capricorn energy maybe being a little too strong. But no matter the perhaps self-inflicted drama you find yourself in, love saves the day. What a Piscean sentiment. I also noticed that the volume is low on the Pisces reading, and today when I knew I was finishing the reading, I've been very, very quiet. There is a growing stillness within Pisces that has to do with maturity, and it's really beautiful. You guys are coming into a very still period. There's a lot of growth, but also a lot of internal strength and stillness. I think that the eclipse brings you good news, and regardless of how you may feel about your good luck, it continues. And I know that it is the compassion within you that can make you a bit awkward about your own success, because you want everybody, genuinely you want everybody to do as well as you. Genuinely you want everyone to be as happy as you feel, or as as blessed as you feel. But you're also going to be thinking a lot about what it's okay to feel you have earned or that you are owed. When it's okay to own the thing and be okay with that. The Magician and the Tower speak to that as well. The Magician is about self. The Six of Wands behind it is about self. It's about a self-actualization that can lead to some structures having to be rebuilt. There's nothing that says you can't rebuild them from the stones of the one that's falling apart. But that lightning needed to hit that tower, and that's just what it is. Just like it looks in some situations, the Magician standing there, that the Magician wanted that to happen. That there is a bigger part of you, a deeper part of you that wants these sweeping changes, that wants these emotional overhauls. And there is a running speed to all this. The Five of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Tower, fast, sudden, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Wands, fast. And then bottom of the deck there, Eight of Wands, fast. Now, I don't think you have much problem with the speed. That's why it doesn't come up like one. It's just interesting to note. Also interesting that it doesn't bother you, because I think it quite bothers this person. And they can even find themselves feeling quite alone because of it. Because it's hard for such a slow character to keep up with you. So be kind to the earth signs that have chosen to swim this way with you. They are not natural swimmers. Remember that. And adjust accordingly. In the extended, it would be great, actually, considering the way the cards have come out, to just go through one by one and shuffle and clarify each card. Because it's so much like a story this time. And it's a story that gets stuck, you know, right there. Some unsurmountable, for some of you, ideological thing that you just, you can't seem to get past it. And then January is just, it opens all the doors, it opens all the windows. It wants you out of the Eight of Swords, or anyone around you, anyone dealing with you. It wants them out of that energy. The Two of Cups is a huge opportunity. Ace of Wands, opportunity. Wheel of Fortune, obvious opportunity. Magician, someone who makes their own opportunity. Six of Wands, the fruition of seizing an opportunity. The light of the moon can illuminate something, an opportunity perhaps that was hidden. Pisces is very aware, very electric this month. And that's good. Stay with it, stay alert. But nest and rest with an alertness and with an ear to the ground. Listen to what people are saying. Don't say too much yourself. Listen a lot more than you speak in January, and you'll be all right. Think on things, but don't let it go to the Two of Swords, Eight of Swords place. It doesn't have to be that way just because you need to think about something. Because you will need to think about some stuff. But don't tell anybody about it yet. January is not the time. It's time for contemplation. All right, I'll see you in the extended in just a second. Let's get this going. I love you, Pisces. Everything will be below. The links to the extended and everything else is on the website. Happy New Year!